You know that feeling like you're putting in the hours day after day with English, maybe hitting the flashcards, reviewing grammar, but that real breakthrough, actually feeling fluent, it just isn't quite happening. If that sounds familiar, well, you've definitely landed in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in this deep dive, we're going to explore why that plateau happens.
Yeah.
We've got this short audio clip that really kind of nails the core issue.
Okay.
And maybe more importantly, gives you some really actionable strategies, things you can actually do to start seeing progress.
Right. So unpack the roadblocks, give people some tools.
Exactly. That's the mission today.
Okay, so the big takeaway, like right off the bat, seems to be this. You can study English theory forever, right? But the genuine improvement, that really kicks in when you start actively, using the language.
It's that classic analogy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Reading every book about swimming.
Yeah.
You can know all the strokes, the theory, the physics, but until you actually physically get in the water,
You're not swimming.
you're not swimming.
Yeah.
And language learning fundamentally works the same way. It needs that practical application.
So what's the ineffective approach then? The thing people often do that causes the plateau?
Well, it's often focusing just on, say, memorizing grammar rules from a book or drilling vocabulary lists in isolation.
Just the theory part.
Just the theory part without actually, putting it into practice, speaking, writing, interacting. From a cognitive angle, our brains consolidate learning through active recall and application. That passive stuff, it just doesn't build those strong neural pathways you need for fluency.
Right. It's like having all the ingredients for a cake laid out on the counter.
Exactly. But never actually mixing them, never baking it. You don't get the cake.
Okay. So that leads us to the crucial shift, the solution. Making English a real part of your everyday life, not just homework.
And the clip gives some great, really simple examples of this.
Like what?
Well, like just talking to yourself in English during the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like narrating what you're doing. No one's listening. There's no judgment.
Yeah.
Or maybe texting a friend in English, even if it's just simple stuff.
Or changing your phone language. I
Okay.
actually did that.
Did you? How was it?
It was surprisingly effective. You just absorb things constantly without even trying to study.
That's it. That daily immersion, even these tiny little bits, it starts to rewire your brain to actually think in English more naturally.
Okay, but that brings up a big one, doesn't it? The fear.
The fear of mistakes.
Yeah.
That's huge for learners.
So what does the audio say about that? Because that holds so many people back.
It tackles it head on, which is great. The core message is basically prioritize getting your thoughts out there over getting them grammatically perfect. Progress over perfection.
Speak first, fix later.
Kind of. The clip actually says, speak wrong, but speak.
Wow. Okay, that's quite liberating, actually, because you do freeze up worrying about the grammar or the pronunciation.
Totally. And another key line from the audio is, fluency isn't built in silence. It's built in mistakes.
Built-in mistakes. I like that.
Yeah. Those errors, they're not failures. They're actually valuable feedback. They show you where the gaps are, what you need to work on. Correcting them is how you really solidify understanding. It's part of the process, not something to avoid.
All right. So for someone listening who's thinking, okay, I get it, I need to be more active, what are some concrete first steps? Drawing from the audio again.
Well, it really emphasizes using the knowledge you already have, but actively. So one suggestion was watching videos in English,
Okay.
but not just passively watching, really engaging, repeating phrases out loud, trying to mimic the speaker's pronunciation, their intonation, their rhythm.
So activating the mouth, not just the ears.
Exactly. It's that combination, auditory learning plus sort of kinesthetic practice. You're physically making the sounds. It moves you beyond just understanding towards actually kind of embodying the language.
Okay, that makes sense. And there was one more point, right, about consistency.
Yes. So important and maybe underestimated. The clip says one tiny step every day will beat hours of silent studying.
So little and often beats massive cramming sessions.
Pretty much. It's not about those heroic marathon study sessions you do once a month and then burn out.
Yeah.
It's about weaving these small, active uses of English into your daily routine, making it normal.
Yeah, turning it from a chore into just a habit, something you do without thinking too much.
Like brushing your teeth. Yeah, that consistent low-pressure engagement, that's what really fuels long-term fluency development.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, the core message we're really taking away here is, if you feel stuck, if you want to break through that plateau, you've got to shift your energy.
Less passive study.
More active use.
Yeah.
In your real life, make it a habit, not just homework.
And, the audio ends on a really encouraging note. It basically says, and trust us, your fluency will follow.
Love that. Confidence.
Yeah. Which I guess leaves one final thought for everyone listening. What's one small thing, like one tiny, maybe almost effortless way you could actively use English today, right now? Today. Just one tiny step. What could it be? Something to maybe just mull over.